Have you ever wondered how silence could change your life? What if the key to inner peace and self-discovery lies in embracing silence? Today, let's explore a Zen story on the profound power of silence. In a quiet village, there was a hermitage where a Zen master lived with his disciples. Among them was one particularly talkative disciple. He loved sharing stories, and whenever he went out to collect donations, he always returned with tales. This disciple often spoke ill of others and tried to present himself as virtuous. He believed he was the most intelligent of all and would say, "I could have lived in luxury, but I chose this path to discover the truth. My sacrifice is greater than yours." One day, the master gathered the disciples and gave them a challenge. "For the next month," he said, "each of you must take a resolution. This will strengthen your determination and build inner power. Choose a resolution that suits your ability. But if anyone breaks it before the month ends, they will return to their old routine." Each disciple chose a resolution and shared it with the master. But the talkative disciple, eager to prove himself, approached the master and said, "I don't want a small resolution. I want a challenge that matches my abilities. Please tell me what resolution I should take." The master smiled and replied, "Are you sure you can fulfill the resolution I give you? It might be difficult. Maybe you should choose your own resolution." Confidently, the disciple insisted, "No, master, I will fulfill whatever resolution you give me." "Very well," said the master. "For the next month you will remain silent. Not a single word shall escape your lips." Surprised, the disciple responded, "Master, is this really a resolution? It seems so simple. Remaining silent for a month is easy for me. Please give me a more challenging task." The master replied, "First, fulfill this resolution, and then we'll see." Obeying the master, the disciple immediately fell silent. Initially, he found it easy, but as the days passed, the burden of silence grew. By the third day, he felt deep uneasiness. Surrounded by disciples who continued to talk, he longed to share his thoughts, but was bound by his resolution. He resorted to gestures, but as time went on, he became ill, plagued by headaches and a loss of appetite. Desperate, he wrote a note to the master saying, "Master, I want to speak. I feel like I can't breathe without talking. I'm going insane. What should I do? Should I break my resolution?" The master smiled and replied, "Resolutions are difficult, but they are meant to be fulfilled. Those who keep their resolutions strengthen their inner selves. If you can't handle this small resolution, how will you manage the challenges of life? The decision is yours." Hurt by the master's words, the disciple returned to his hut without speaking. He locked himself inside, emerging only for essential tasks, spending the rest of his time in solitude. After 15 days, most of the other disciples had broken their resolutions, but the talkative disciple remained silent, much to everyone's surprise. On day 15, he again wrote to the master, "Master, I am silent on the outside, but inside there is a storm of voices, complaints, questions, thoughts. The quieter I am externally, the louder my mind becomes. Is my resolve still valid?" The master replied, "Yes, your resolution is still valid. However, as long as you are surrounded by others' voices, your mind will continue to speak because it is used to talking. Though silent on the outside, you are still noisy within. You need to distance yourself from these distractions." Taking this advice to heart, the disciple left the hermitage and ventured deep into the forest, seeking true silence. Days passed, and when the month ended, the disciple did not return. The other disciples feared he had fallen prey to wild animals. But the master remained calm, believing otherwise. One day, a disciple asked the master, "What do you think happened to our talkative brother? Could an animal have killed him?" The master responded, "Perhaps the animals claimed him, but it's also possible that he found what he was searching for." The disciple then asked, "Is it really so harmful to talk too much?" The master explained, "One of life's greatest miseries is our inability to remain silent. We constantly speak, and much of our suffering comes from endless chatter. Family conflicts often arise from meaningless talk. Few of us want to be silent. We just want to make others listen. We spend our lives trying to prove we are right and others are wrong. This exchange of words wastes our time, energy, and precious moments that could be spent in peace. Only a few realize what they've lost in this endless cycle of talking." The disciple asked, "What is the solution then?" The master replied, "The only way is to watch your thoughts with full awareness. By staying present and doing your work mindfully, you can bring miraculous changes in your life." 3 months after the talkative disciple left the ashram, he returned. His arrival filled everyone with surprise and joy, but he was no longer the same person. A profound change had taken place within him. His face radiated calmness, and his eyes were filled with peace. As he spoke with his fellow disciples, they noticed he was no longer impatient or overly talkative. Every word he spoke was measured and sweet. He went straight to the master, touched his feet, and asked, "Master, am I still silent? Is my resolution still on?" The master looked into his eyes and said, "Yes, you are still silent. Not a single unnecessary word escapes your lips, and your resolution is still intact." The disciple shared his experience. "When I left the ashram, I was silent on the outside, but my mind was full of noise. Questions, doubts, complaints. So I went into the forest, seeking peace. But the deeper I went into solitude, the louder the voices within me grew. I realized how wrong I had been to speak ill of others, to believe I was better than my fellow disciples. I thought I was right, but I was not." Over time, these voices gradually quieted down until there was silence within. In the stillness of the forest, with no one to speak to, I finally understood the true meaning of silence. For the first time, I experienced peace. I could hear the wind, the birds, the flowing water, sounds I had never truly noticed before. This peace was unshakable even when I spoke aloud. I realized that true silence is not just the absence of external noise, but the quieting of the mind within. The master responded, "As long as we speak outwardly, there will be unrest within. But when we turn inward, we find peace, and what we say becomes calm." Much of the world's suffering comes from unnecessary talking. We waste our energy in endless chatter, trying to prove ourselves to others, instead of seeking the quiet wisdom within. Those who wish to journey inward must learn the value of silence. Speaking less and listening more preserves our energy and allows us to explore our inner world. This is why the enlightened seek solitude, not to escape the world, but to find the calmness needed for true understanding. Silence is not about avoiding words, it's about finding peace within, whether in solitude or in the midst of a crowd. The lesson from this story is clear. Silence is a powerful tool for self-discovery, inner peace, and personal growth. Unnecessary talk wastes energy and distracts us from what truly matters. By embracing silence, we can connect more deeply with ourselves and the world. If you found this story inspiring, please subscribe to my channel for more thought-provoking content. Your support helps us continue sharing these valuable lessons. Thank you for watching, and may you find your own path to inner peace.